It's a little thing, but my last girlfriends before the days of red pills were very nice when they spent their sweet, sweet time in my car. It always feels like a big event every time I go somewhere. They seem to photograph themselves to make sure every inch of their clothes is perfect for the world to see. Changing hair, checking last-minute looks, and strategically organizing their bags has become a chore. A quick look in the mirror was about to be ordered before I decided to jump from the comfort of my car. These seemingly innocent moments were accompanied by deep sadness for me. The worst thing is, we often rush to our destination. Inevitably, I look at the clock. My heart beats. The feeling of impending doom seems to always following me. Being late is not always a problem. A ticket is a sign of trouble. I could hear the words, "I told you so," in my head as I realized my place was in question again. This change made an infinite message. The paradox was so comical. There I was, a workaholic with plans and dreams, but I found myself caught up in this dance of procrastination and emotional manipulation. I often question my priorities, torn between my goals and feeling unsatisfied in validating these relationships. Looking back on those times now, I realized that getting out of the car wasn't just a physical act. It shows the deeper issues at play: control, expectations, and the subtle ways certain relationships can bend our true selves, so we forget our own needs. In retrospect, it's interesting how the small details of everyday interactions can serve as windows through which we begin to understand our own patterns and relationships. In almost 40, making 6 figures, owning 2 properties, and paid off my car last month. 2 years ago, I had a vasectomy, and I plan to pump and dump it until the day I die. Life is good. Well, Grant, thanks for the gift and your point, which can be summed up in 4 words. He's wasting your time. The phrase, "he's a waste of time," is something we've all experienced at some point in our lives. So did my ex-girlfriend of 10 years. It took a long time to prepare. He came out again and asked me to keep telling him I love him. Yes, he wasted my time and money on birthdays, romantic nights, and the like, but he did it with the intention of testing me by reminding me that underneath I was enchanted. If you can stand up to him and say, "Look, we're breaking up, you've passed the test, and you can move on with your life." Grant, he got mad when you sat around playing video games while he was ready because you don't care about love and you're good at taking it or leaving it. Now he's trying to show that it's your fault that you too are late to this event. Deep down, this is the secret desire of many women, to make a man suffer so that he will know that he loves her more. Women waiting in the car, knowing that you are in a hurry to go to work, and you just want to go home to sleep. Make sure that you have caught yourself as expensive tuna, although they may smell. Action if you are still on the phone tomorrow at the same bad hour on the same bad channel. Yes, he is wasting your time. Every minute a woman wastes is time that could be spent more. Today, one of my clients called me in the middle of a conversation wanting to focus more on the past. If you want to know if your so-called wife likes you, maybe she doesn't. See if she's wasting your time. Women don't mind wasting a man's time, but if you dare to waste his time, he will be a fool. If you ignore his behavior, you will know that you don't like him. So thanks for that. I don't want to go over old ground, but I'll use the rest of this conversation to talk about something I found while filming the Wizards Museum of Oz in northern New York. If Dorothy is a girl or just a woman, the other characters in the film seem to have an advantage over her. For example, the lack of a scarecrow brain represents logic and reason that some women lack. A Tin Man is a symbol of a woman's lack of confidence and pride. Dorothy needs these 3 symbols to get to the Emerald City because she only has a pair of shoes to protect her from other women and witches. While many argue that the Wizard of Oz is simply a political metaphor, I still see it as a metaphor for a girl becoming a woman. The witch's jealousy and the wanderings that take Dorothy from Kansas to Oz mark the transition from childhood to adulthood. Like the boys who befriend each other on the street, the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and the Lion believe that they don't have the guts, heart, or brains to carry out their projects. Hall Proteus told me personally the story of a crazy Nut-Nosian woman and a group of beta players fighting a post-war drama queen and her army of flying shoes. The more I think about it, the more I think about it. Note that Dorothy is wasting all her friends' time by using them to go to the witch and then use her to fight the witch. I also don't think the lion represents both courage and honor. Rather, I think the wizard represents honor by keeping his word and attempting to return Dorothy to the land of Oz. Glinda the Good Witch realized that Dorothy could have ended the battle quickly by clicking her heels together 3 times and declaring, "There's no place like home." Instead, she let Dorothy and her band of beta orbiters go out there to fight the witch, ultimately sending the wizard soaring away in his balloon and allowing Dorothy to return to Kansas. In conclusion, we can see that time is a precious commodity, one that we often take for granted until we find ourselves caught in a cycle of wasted moments. Every minute counts, especially in a world that seems to move faster every day. While relationships can undoubtedly be rewarding, enriching our lives in ways we often cannot articulate, we must remain acutely aware of how our time is being spent. Each interaction, moment of connection, or even the subtle nuances of a relationship can significantly impact our overall well-being. As we examine our financial investments, we should also carefully examine our emotional investments. Are we spending our time in ways that align with our values and aspirations, or are we simply going along and letting others determine the pace and direction of our lives? Understanding the dynamics of our relationships, we can make better decisions in love and life. When we pay attention to the patterns and behaviors of those around us, we understand what we are really accomplishing. We can recognize when we are valued and appreciated and know when our time is being manipulated or wasted. It takes courage to face these situations and to distance ourselves from situations that do not help our growth and our happiness. In addition, knowing how to spend our time encourages us to make connections that lift us up. It invites us to pursue relationships that not only respect our time, but allow us to grow as individuals. By doing so, we can live a better and happier life, a life where love is a source of joy, not a burden that weighs us down. As we explore the complexities of our relationships, we need to be mindful of our choices and make sure they reflect who we are. Life is too short to waste our precious time on people or situations that will not have a positive impact on our journey. So, let's embrace the lesson that time is not about the hours we clock, but about the quality of the times we choose to bless. As we move forward, we must invest our time and cultivate relationships that inspire and empower us, and ultimately help us achieve our purpose of love and create the core strength to achieve.